Hey guys, what's up? I'm Tom Court, and in this clip I'm going to show you how to change the entire trim unit on your Duotone Click Bar. Now it may sound complicated, but it's actually easier than it looks. So the first place to start is to make sure that the bar is totally depowered. To do this, you want to take the outside lines of the bar, apply some pressure and press the push button. You'll be able to see if the bar is completely depowered on the power display in the center of the bar. Next up, go to the winding mechanism on the right-hand side of the bar. Twist the winding mechanism 90 degrees to expose the fixing screws underneath. Take your Allen key and undo the fixing screws to release the winding mechanism from the end of the bar. Once the screws are undone, it will allow you to pull the whole trim unit free from the end of the bar, and this whole part here is what we're going to replace. To remove the trim unit, you'll need to disconnect both leader lines from the winding mechanism. To take both lines off, you need to undo the winding mechanism. To do this, you take your Allen key and insert it into the split spool screw in the center of the mechanism. Then proceed to undo the screw totally. Once it's undone, the mechanism will spring apart. The push button and spring will come off the back of it. The winding mechanism and right cover will also come free, leaving you with the split spool that connects the lines to the internal workings of the bar. Remove the top part of the winding mechanism, then the black washer inside the mechanism, and finally the bottom of the mechanism. So there you go, that is your old trim unit entirely removed, and you're ready to install your new spare part. Now when the trim unit comes, it will come completely assembled, but to fit it, you'll need to disassemble the whole unit and put it together as you took it apart. Put all the parts of your old trim unit to one side and continue with your new spare part. To disassemble it, you'll want to undo the push button and spring. Put those to one side, then take off the right cover. That leaves you with the internal workings of the winding mechanism. Then remove the split spool screw from the center of the mechanism and place all of the parts of the winding mechanism on the table. So take the first part of the winding mechanism and slide it down over the split spool screw. You will notice on the first part of the winding mechanism that there are two curved extruded bits of metal. These need to be facing upwards, and the gaps between these are what hold the lines in place. So the first leader line you want to reinsert is the leader line on the right-hand side of the bar that runs directly up through the EVA floater and doesn't go through the center of the bar. So you take that leader line, slide it down over the top of the split spool screw and nestle it right down into the gap in the first part of the mechanism. To do this, you can either use the Allen key or the spike tool to help you get the line right to the bottom of the split spool screw. So once that first line is in place, you then want to take the black washer. You'll notice that the black washer has two raised parts on each side. The raised part on the bottom side of the black washer, as you slide it onto the split spool screw, wants to go on the opposite side that the line comes out. In other words, it needs to fill up the gap where the line currently is not. So slide the black washer into place and it should look like that, with the line cleanly running out of one side. Then you take the second leader line, the one that now runs through the center of the bar, and place it over the top of the split spool screw, run it down the split spool screw and into the opposite side of the other leader line. Make sure that this line is pushed right down into the recess between the two curved metal extrusions. Then it should look like this. Next up is the third part of the mechanism. As you can see, there are two curved metal notches that correspond with the raised curved metal extrusions on the internal workings of the mechanism. These need to fit together. So screw on the third part and make sure that the two metal extrusions line up with the notches. Then you'll need to tighten the whole system up. So you take your Allen key, insert it into the back of the split spool screw. If you need help doing this, you can use the right cover, insert the mechanism into the back and tighten the screw using your Allen key. Once you're satisfied that both the lines are in the right place in the mechanism, then you can attach the right cover. Feed the mechanism into the back of the right cover, take your push button and spring, and proceed to screw it back onto the top of the split spool screw. Use your Allen key to tighten, and then you're ready to insert the whole mechanism into the end of the bar. If there is slack in the leader lines, give them a little pull so that the mechanism slides neatly back into place. If for some reason it doesn't fit, you don't just turn the mechanism over, otherwise this can cause a twist. What you would do is push the button and internally spin the right cover so that it's then orientated correctly. You don't want any twists on the internal lines. To make sure the right cover is the right way up and is going to fit properly into the end of the bar, there is a small diagram on the inside of the right cover. This diagram should be orientated upwards on the bar to indicate that it's in the right direction. Slide the right cover into the end of the bar and then spin the mechanism 90 degrees to finally insert the screws back into place. Once you've done that, give the internal mechanism a final test. Make sure that the winding and D-power is operating correctly and that you're happy with it before you hit the beach. There you go. That is how you replace your entire trim unit. You can find the spare parts for all of our Duotone products at your local dealer, your nearest shop, or online on our website.